Growing up in Kolkata, I used to go and watch every Big B movie, first day, first show.
What was your first reaction when Shoojit sir called you and told you, I want to make a movie on you and your life?
Words come with responsibility. I want to talk doesn't mean I can say anything I want. Unquit is about not giving up. Take that step. Everything changed on September 18, 1996.
My guest today is not just a cancer survivor. He's a cancer winner. At the age of 32, Arjun Sen was given just 100 days to live. 22 life-threatening surgeries, months of radiation, and several chemotherapy sessions later, not only did he survive, he came back with a promise to never quit again on life. He is a man whose story is so extraordinary that Shoojit Sircar turned it into a film called I Want to Talk. A simple question by his daughter became the reason he chose to live. Will you dance at my wedding, Papa? He is an author of a book called Raising a Father, a keynote speaker, a storyteller, and a creator of the Unquit movement, inspiring thousands of people across the world to stay in the game no matter the odds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on Host Diaries, the one and only Arjun Sen. Good afternoon, Mr. Sen, and it's an absolute honor to have you on our show. Welcome to Calcutta. I hope the flight wasn't too bad.
No, all good and truly a pleasure. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to meet your team and be here.
Let's start off with about your early life. It's my understanding that you were born and raised in Calcutta. Could you tell us about your childhood and your upbringing in the heartland of Bengal? And is there any part of your childhood that still lives with you?
To me, I think each one of us are defined by the early age. It's like the path that you go, little left, little right, builds you. I grew up maybe 5 kilometers from here in New Alipur in a home built by my grandma. The fascinating part is grandma lost grandpa when she was, I think, late 30s. Raised 3 kids working as a traveling life insurance salesperson. She built the house one room at a time. Once she had money, those days there was no loan. Sometimes between rooms there were windows. And having her presence both physically and what she has accomplished to get 3 kids through school and be present for each one of us was very important. Kolkata also, I think, went to school at St. Lawrence High School. And now when I meet my school friends, what I realized is that's the most innocent time of our life. Okay? School friends are when we meet, you can be who you are. There's no facade, nothing like that. So Kolkata has been like this most fascinating place where early childhood evolved, met and had some of my most amazing friends. But there was a big learning that I had to undo a little later, which I call conforming. The first maybe 10, 15 years, I wanted to be the good boy. I wanted to be the good boy for grandma. I wanted to be the good boy for dad, mom. I wanted to be a good boy. And sometimes in the process, you forget who you are because we as humans are not perfect. And I think over time, much later, I drew this artwork myself of baby Arjun, and now it is every day before I leave, it says conforming. It reminds me, traffic rules are important to conform, but be you. That's what it is. But I'm so glad to be in Kolkata and talk to you.
Your grandmom in the movie, you said that your grandmom has sort of named you, right? Arjun. So what was the story about being named Arjun?
I thought the story would have a different ending because I had just, in class 7, I learned Sanskrit. And of course, I was curious those days. There's no internet. So I researched and learned Arjun means Ekam Advityam. I'm like, wow. So I wanted to record that with my brother, younger baby brother. So in front of my baby brother, I asked my grandma, you named me Arjun, and gave her the answer also because I was so cool, this, blah, blah, blah. My grandma smiled and said, those days when a baby is born and bring the baby back from the hospital, the birth certificate didn't have your name on it. It said, male child to Shankar Sen. When we come home, we go to the God room and we name. I'm like, okay, best part coming. She said, we took you to the God room, you opened your eyes, I fell in love with you. Cutest baby. Your eyes did not look across as a very brilliant, smart mind. I'm like, come on, okay, no, abort. She said, no, but there was something in your eyes. You asked questions. And I felt that's your power, that this kid will ask questions. And that's the reason I named you Arjun. Because in Kurukshetra, of all the wise people, there was only one person who stopped and asked a question. And think, if Arjun didn't ask the question, Krishna may not have had the need to share the wisdom of all times in Bhagavad Gita. So Arjun gets credit for asking the question. I have taken that very seriously. Like if, let's say, four of us are together in a team, all I have to do is ask a question. And many a time, the right question has saved my life. Because there are people around you who feel compelled to find the answer. That's the best part. I've done my job. I've asked a question. And that's the part where the name Arjun, I really think, has helped me in life. You just ask questions, look around, saying answers, anybody, come on, come on, come on. And that becomes huge.
I think even in business in today's day and age, asking a question is so much more important than answering the question.
Totally.
Because majority of the time, an answer is a discovery. Nobody has the answer. And the question allows you to be able to go on that path of discovery, to understand exactly if we want to even answer such a question, or if we are at this precipice of solving this problem, it's only the question that's going to get you across the horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully said.
I would love for you to just speak about, because as our viewers are not aware, most people might not have seen I Want to Talk. I would love for you to give us a short description about the journey that you had, and specifically when the doctors came and told you that you had 100 days to live. What was the very first thought that came into your mind?
I just have to set this up because sometimes the fall is defined by two things: how big the fall is and how unprepared and unexpected it was. I was in the corporate world and couldn't do anything wrong. Attitude, arrogance had creeped in. I realized it's all about putting more time in, and I was stealing time. You and I both have the same 24 hours. I was stealing time from my daughter, from my future, my health, to invest more, and I was doing amazing. Everything changed on September 18, 1996. I was in a meeting rocking it. But that's the time I realized there was a pin drop silence. I was throwing up blood. That was reality one, something is wrong. But till that point, yes, I had total control in my life. Me being the boss and everything else, I could tell people what to do, not to do. Now I'm in a hospital. For the first time, I'm sitting in a wheelchair with a wristband with my name tag, everything else. And I realized sitting on a wheelchair, I have no more control of my life. If that day you were my nurse, if I had to go to the restroom, I need your permission. And Yash decides whether the door will be open or not. Like that lack of control really freaked me out. Okay? On a lighter note, I also realized that my life's favorite drink forever will become apple juice. That's what hospitals give you in tiny pouches. And for 2 days, there was no information. And I was not used to it. Like corporate world, I need numbers now, and numbers came. And 2 days later, when doctors came in, and S is very important, 3 doctors, 5 nurses, they just went into this major sharing. And finally, they explained to me that I have laryngeal cancer. They explained to me that I have a cancer in my colon area. They're different kind of cancer. I'm like, okay. But corporate world has taught me, you're my boss. You put this mega challenge in front. I regroup. I would say, sir, let me take everything. Let me come back to you with a point of view. That's very acceptable. And that separation really helps me in life. Like a pause and a separation allows me to not react, because I have realized reaction is dangerous. Reaction is impulsive. Reaction is only thing that I see. If I pause, I can see more. But the doctors, that's the time they dropped it by saying, you're not understanding. Most probably, if you don't start treatment now, you won't see Christmas this year. So this is September 18th. I did the math. If you include Christmas Day, I have 97 days. If you don't, I have 96. And that freaked me out. Like in life, even though the surety is that one day all of us will die, somehow, somewhere, God or whatever the powers are has made sure we do not have a countdown, because then we cannot live. Like all the things in science have evolved. But I would bet nobody will ever be able to say, this guy, Yash, has 72 years, 7 days, 9. It won't happen. But in my case, knowing 90 days, that freaked me out. So first thing I did was told my doctors that, hey, I will do the treatment if you give me a guarantee. Of course they can. And then I was so proud because I felt I needed attitude. I told my doctors, I'm not paying your damn bills. And in that case, good luck collecting from a dead man. And I left. And I was very proud. Like, what I felt was that little attitude helped me separate. And I went home, and for 2 days, I was in total darkness. Total darkness means if this was my room, all the blinds are down. Only light I saw was the fridge opening to have some leftover pizza. But deep inside, I believed little bit. There was little hope. Somebody, somewhere, some miracle could happen. Like there was tiny, it was very tiny, like it's not close. Like you can see a little light coming in. And that's where my daughter comes in 2 days later and shakes up my whole life. Like 3 years old. She had heard from mom that dad has cancer or something. Comes and asks me, what is dying? Are you dying? Most importantly, if you die, who will dance at my wedding? And the third question, I got it, Yash. I realized I was worried about my life ending. I realized I have a role in this girl's life journey. The two coolest moments of a wedding is father-daughter, mother-son. Like that's cutest of things that is there. And then, of course, the couple dances. And I felt I need to do something. Kuch karna hai mere ko. I have to be there or make best effort. The corporate world, what I told me, and if you connect it back to the question, I felt I was asking the wrong question. I was asking a question is, how can I keep myself alive? It's not within me. Like, if you give yourself a task which is impossible, it won't work. Is there a question I can ask and give myself which is doable? And as I started thinking to make my daughter's wish come true, I asked myself, is there a hospital somewhere that has a better treatment and a better doctor? And can I put effort to finding that? That question, I can do it. And the moment I flipped it, my house changed. Like, if this was my house, this became medical record center. All my friends came in, we were sending it out, and of course we found the hospital. But the whole transition happened was having that amazing daughter in my life, 3 years old, asking those questions. And corporate world had taught me, like, give yourself the question which you have a chance. Small steps, baby steps. That helps. So I hope that gives you a flavor.
Yeah, it does. And to be very honest, I completely agree with you. Sometimes the challenge in front of you is so large that you're not able to fully understand, let alone articulate how you're going to go about it. So breaking it down into several smaller steps, like rather than will I be able to beat it, go into the how and the why. Where will I go next to solve the crisis that is in front of me?
Yeah, and taking it years later, when I was the most unlikely person running a marathon, that day I also did the math. 26.2 miles. You are very athletic. For you, it takes 2,000 steps for a mile. For me, it took 2,500 steps. I did the math. 65,500. Impossible. But I told myself I can take one step. So I committed to myself that I will take always one step and quit on the next step, not on this step. And my goal is to get to my daughter. And the best part about this journey was I gave myself a goal I could live, I could keep. If I said, Arjun, like gave a big spiel like you see before a cricket match, Arjun, you can do 65,000. I said, no way, boss, done. Luckily, yes, sir, your medal could change. But that was the whole part, was giving yourself chance to succeed is very important with the right realistic goals, and that reframing, little reframing, is very important. The moment I took one step, I'm a marathoner. I'm not a finished marathoner. Like, think right now, if any one of you listening want to be a marathoner, get to the starting line and run. Take one step. One step makes you a marathoner. I'm not a finished marathoner at that point, but that one step was so important.
Denial is probably one of the first things that somebody faces when a news like this is given to them. That no, I'm fine. Y'all have no idea what's going on. Y'all are clueless, y'all are stupid. How does one come to accepting it and being like, okay, this is reality?
I have evolved over life. Earlier, I felt denial was a weakness. Then I realized you need denial to embrace the whole thing. Because what happens is, at the end of the day, in my whole healing, I am the CEO, which means I will have resources. I have a board. My daughter, my wife, all of them are my board. As a CEO, I need to gather the energy. I need to present facts. And that's the part where initially denial was because I did not want to talk about it. And when people would show their emotion back, I thought the care came in the form of empathy and sympathy. I saw in too many people's eyes death. So denial was simple. Like when my mom would call me, I would say fata fati. Today she hates it when I use the word because she knows that word meant nothing. Later on, what I started evolving to was being calm, not freaking out, and then asking for help is a strength. Like if I want a glass of water and you all were kind and you even asked what temperature, like I knowing that I want water room temperature, you all were kind to bring me the water. And I think that's the part where there's the balance. Like we as human beings at time, we need a little space. Like think, you and I are best friends for a second. You said something that hurt my feelings. That's reality. Let me accept it. Now I have a few words to say too. How should I use those words? Should I use those words to hurt you back? Or should I take time to use those words to heal us and bring us back to a friendship? I can pause and then I can say, hey, come here, give me a hug. Yeah, what were you thinking? Why do you say those things? If I've done something wrong, hit me. Don't do that word thing. Like think, And that's what I think happens. If I denied that you and I had a bad conversation, our friendship gets worse. So, in every aspect, not just health or anything, I realize you need to take time. And then, when you're ready to have a conversation which is on your terms, you're in control, and ask for help. That asking for help is a big thing I've learned is that's strength. Taking no for an answer is okay. Like if I ask you for a help, you may not be able to do it. That's okay. I'll go on, move on. And that I think is very powerful. Thanks for asking because that denial thing is a very important part of life.
Yeah. Even as I met you today, we had a conversation before the podcast started for like a good 20 minutes. And throughout the movie, there's this underlying sense of how you have managed to use humor to overcome all the problems that came in your life. Humor has become your greatest strength. So I want to understand how is it and that you came about having this outlook where there's death surrounded you in all its aspects and you were like, I'm going to not come back with reason, but I'm going to come back with reason with a layer of humor on top of it. How did you harness that weapon?
So, first of all, my daughter used to always say attempted humor. Okay. I heard so many times, Dad, you're not funny. But you know what I've learned is even in the toughest of days, every moment doesn't have to be tough. I'll give you examples. I'm not dumb. I know when I go for a surgery, every surgery, my probability of making it goes down. I know. Like I've updated my will, everything. Like I'm a responsible person. But then, if these next 15 minutes are my last 15 minutes of life, which we don't know, but if I want to live those 15 minutes. So with my nurse, unfortunately, because these are different nurses, they don't know my jokes. Every nurse, I have two jokes, A or B. So I look at you, you're A person. With you, I would say, if you are a golfer, may you have a hole in one today. And in my jokes, I have very clear expectations. My jokes have guaranteed one laughter, which is me. I laugh at my jokes. You don't have to laugh. Or with my nurses, I would say, may your effort go in vain. You are not laughing this one, but I'm laughing on this one. Say with anesthesiologist. I would tell them, can you spell anesthesiologist? Because that's a very difficult spelling. Like maybe that's the first thing they give you on a test that for you to be an anesthesiologist, you have to spell. Or do you tell your girlfriend or boyfriend that I knock people out? Like, and this is the part where, sometimes, and this is zero exaggeration, because that day Shoojit Sircar, the director, was on a Zoom call with me, a WhatsApp call. God gave me a gift before a surgery. My anesthesiologist, I see his name tag is Muhammad Ali. And I had to tell him, today it takes a Muhammad Ali to knock Arjun out. Okay? Just think, in life, we have an opportunity to try to make life fun. Why not? You don't have to be in every moment to go through it. And humor doesn't always get through, but again, humor has to be without bringing you down. Humor cannot be a negative joke. Do you know what doctors mean? Like, no. Humor is laughing with you or trying to laugh with you, but never at you. But that's the responsibility.
Yeah, it can't be at an expense of somebody
No.
else. Every surgery you go through, the odds of you making it becomes more diminished.
Yep.
And it's harder and harder. So 22 surgeries is not survival, it's war. Every time you enter the next surgery, what is it that you tell yourself when you're being rolled in? How do you make sure that your mindset is strong, that I will survive, I will come through?
So for me, only the movie brought out 22 surgeries. I didn't even know there were 22 surgeries. I never counted. For me, it's only one surgery, the one in front. The thing about the movie that freaked me out was, in life, if I was ever told, beginning of surgery 1, Arjun, come here, sign here, 22 surgery package hai tere liye, I would have ran like crazy. India would have had its first 100 meters marathon winner in Arjun. Okay? I would have. But that's the good thing about life is life doesn't tell you about all the challenges. Life gives you challenge 1, Arjun, good boy, challenge 2. And I just think that's very important to look at is you cannot overwhelm yourself. You can only take care of the problem in. So I have a very, very clear goal. I prepare and prepare. I prepare for doctor's conversation, like to the point where I'm more prepared for a conversation with a doctor than I've been for any exam ever. Very important. Because think, I'm the CEO of my life. My daughter, my wife, all of them are trusting me. As the CEO of my life, I have to be responsible. Heavens forbid if they fire me. They can't fire me. They don't have anybody else will run this. But I really think that taking the responsibility, and for every surgery, to me, it's all about the surgery. But in the movie, they show this video of Arjun recording messages. They got this, they changed it a little bit. In real life, night before, I would record messages. I would record a message for my daughter, my brother, and my wife. And these would be gut-wrenching, no holding back messages. Day after surgery, I would erase these. Initially, I thought these are Arjun sharing last message. But then I realized, no, absolutely not. I would listen to those messages night before. I would realize how lucky I am. Like, I'll give you an example. With my brother, I've never told my brother in his face how much I love him. I've never told my younger brother ever in his face that I wish I could be half as cool as you, man. And these videos were unhinged. And they taught me you don't have to have a probability of high probability of death for you to show your love. If I want to say, yes, I'm very grateful, I can hold your hand and say, yes, I'm very grateful. Like, let's do it. And that's the part where I think the surgeries gave me a different level of urgency to live in today, which I think was very important lesson in life.
I completely resonate. Your relationship with your daughter has evolved, to use the right term, over the last, how many years has it been? About 30 years?
Yeah.
And in those 30 years, you've written a book called Raising a Father.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of flips the belief that parents raise children. There is a point where the child also raises the parents. And is there something, or maybe the single biggest learning that you have got from your daughter, in which you've realized that she raised me, or I grew up because of this?
There are two things I would take. One, if I look at life in phases, the first 8 years, I was absent. I was, as they call it, the Disneyland dad, who's absent. One day, chalo, kuch karte hai, and then went. But she never gave up. She asking me questions, she pushing me was very important. When in life, you have been not present, but when you get a wake-up call, jump out of bed. And that I think was very, very important. Like, I can give myself negative points for everything, but I give myself positive points was when she finally hit me hard when she was 8 years old. Dad, you don't know me. I did take that wake-up call. I quit my corporate job to be present. Okay? I have to give myself credit there. And the second is that learning of being present. As parents, this is the toughest job in which there's zero experience. I've looked. My daughter did not come with a user manual. Okay? There was no user manual. And in a job where I always have doubts of failure, I eventually realized I have to be present. I'll give you another dimension of being present. Okay? Raka is close to 15 years old. She had a tough day, comes to me, jumps into a hug. 30 seconds, 45 seconds later, I did this. She was still in the hug. She looked up to me and said, do you know what it means? I'm like, what? She said, that means, that's enough, buddy. That's enough. She said, if I want to be in a hug with my dad, I will be in the hug as long as I want. If you're my baby brother or my nephew, I need to be present, not to show up and take attendance. I need to be present with my heart, my mind, physically for you. And that whole thing about being present is the biggest thing my daughter has taught me. And that's what I feel that if I was giving an acceptance for a degree on raising a father, I'm graduating today. That's what I would say is my daughter taught me. One, not to give up on people. She didn't. And be present.
Lovely.
Thank you.
And apart from just the family, you had this team who was looking after you. And you often speak of them as Sherpas. And these are strangers who sort of kept you alive in the last 2-3 decades. So can you tell us about any one Sherpa who has had a profound impact on you and your journey?
No, this is the way wars start, Yash. If I name one Sherpa, so I'll give you random examples.
Okay.
And alphabetically. Of course, if you look at the definition of a Sherpa knows the path in Himalayas when you're hiking. Sherpa can carry your load to help you. They have amazing physical strength. But the biggest thing is anywhere you are, they have the mental strength to make sure you don't give up. They take you forward. The thing also is the Sherpa's picture is usually never there when you get to the top of the Everest. Okay? Most probably he's taking your picture. There's something common between all my Sherpas because that's the reason I don't call Sherpas just because that's exactly. These are selfless people whose job with zero expectation, nothing transactional to take me to the next level. Some leave me with strength. some leave me with wisdom. Like, for example, Nancy, when I was in my toughest day in my life on March 4th and I was ready to give up, she gave me this wisdom of wisdoms. So Nancy told me that, Arjun, I know life is very tough. I know the headwind is so strong you cannot move forward. But if you can pause and just find enough energy to take a U-turn, the headwind which was in front of you becomes your tailwind. And then she said, then there's no stopping you. From the Arjun who is lost like a deer in front of a headlight to be the unstoppable Arjun, just one U-turn. Again, it goes back to what we talked earlier, is Arjun is lost, cannot move. But you're asking that Arjun, can you just take a U-turn here? Yes, I can. Like changing from what you can do to yes, I can is a reframing. And that's the part where it's the strangest and strangest of people. My handyman, Johnny, this guy had access to the house. He had a very colorful life with his dates and everything else going on. Till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, he would come in through the garage. I had to make sure there's beer and leftover food. I don't drink beer, but for Johnny, I had to leave beer. He would get his beer, and let's say you're sleeping there. I'm Johnny. I would come in front, sit, and around, say, and look at. The moment you opened your eyes, I would tell you, Mr. Arjun, you're not dead. That was his way of saying, Mr. Arjun, I'm so glad you're alive. In the middle of the night, this goofball came to see me to make me. And one time in the movie, they do an amazing scene that was exactly real. Okay, Johnny had fixed this fan. I'm watching TV. I turned and the fan fell. I called Johnny. He finally showed up. And when he came in, I was telling him, Johnny, you nearly killed me. And finally gave me the wisdom of wisdom, which I think Deepak Chopra doesn't have that. Okay? He says, Mr. Arjun, there's nothing called nearly dead. You're either alive or you're dead. If you're alive, you're not nearly dead. Okay? What a fascinating wisdom. And this is the part where it takes time from this wise soul, what they tell, for me to process and learn. Over years, I realized what Johnny taught me, till you're dead, you're alive. And when you're alive, live to the fullest, smile, crack jokes, build friendships, and most importantly, seeing the power Johnny, Nancy had in my life, what can I do to pass it forward? Whose life can I be a Sherpa? Because a little help from me can magnify. A few words from Nancy, even after all these years, I still haven't got the full grasp of her wisdom. It grows. I cannot be Nancy, but can I be 100 Nancy, 100 Johnny? And that, I think, is about life. If each one pass it forward, that's the power.
Do you believe healing is more science or more spirit?
I have realized that healing has 4 parts. I feel it starts with the heart. Heart gives you hope. Heart gives you something to look to. In my case, dance at my daughter's wedding. But hope still has doubts. If you asked me that day, I said, but then the mind came in. The mind started breaking things down. The mind started realizing, Arjun, your feelings, fear are real. But mind also taught me fear does not exist. Fear is like the older brother who says, Arjun, don't go, bad things could happen. I say, cute brother, let me use that as a dare. So fear to me becomes my friend. Mind also helps me how to deal with failure. Like mind taught me, Arjun, you will fall, you will fail, but how fast you get up. I'll give you a very goofy, literal example. Yesterday I was in Mumbai. It was raining like crazy. My brother, my sister-in-law, and my amazing nephew, we went for breakfast. As we were coming back, I was holding an umbrella. They're all getting out of the car. I slipped and had a nasty fall. But my goal in life is, when I fall, I want to be the world's fastest get-up person. Like by the time I jumped up, they didn't even see me fall. But they saw that the umbrella had broken. Like I was so proud that I can get out of a fall. So that's the mind. And third is the body. We talked about how to. And number 4 is the people around. It's not one thing. So to me, healing is always a journey. Healing is not perfection. Will I be ever 100% healed? No. Like if you look at my fingers, every one of these fingers, 9 of them are broken. I'd fallen so many times.
Really?
Yeah. Look, none of them are straight. Who cares? I can still hold a golf club. I can still occasionally hit a great shot. So to me, I really think that healing is not a perfection. Healing is a journey. That's what Unquit to me is. The reward of Unquit is get a chance tomorrow to be in the game. There's no winning. I finished the marathon last 6 hours, 12 minutes. Nobody was there other than few people and my daughter. Who cares? I was there. And that's what the whole thing is. Healing is, I want to be there tomorrow. I want to wake up tomorrow morning to see the sunrise. That's it.
It's a mindset.
It's total. Yeah.
So you say you're not a cancer survivor. Mm-hmm. You're a cancer winner. Mm-hmm. So what is the difference between the two?
There are 2 differences. Survival means I'm done. Somehow we made it. It's just like I was drowning. I got to the land. Okay. To me, I think there's going through this journey means there's something ahead. And that's the part where winner means continuation. But the second thing is about respect. To me, everything Nancy did, my daughter did, my wife, amazing wife, grandma, every person in my life has done. Their effort was not to just pick Arjun out of the water. Their thing was, oh, come on, beta, run. Like, I need to show them a respect. I think I really, as the CEO, just a branding guy talking, I have to position myself as a winner. Like, think all their effort is about made Arjun survive. Like, it's not a good tagline.
Yeah.
But if you say all these people, what do they do in life? They make Arjun win. Like, look at the camera, make Arjun win. And here's a secret I want to share with you. I feel we all need to have a winning tagline. Celebration is very important. I celebrate every chance. And I have a tagline for myself that I have only for me after something cool happens. I tell myself, looking at the mirror, it's tough being Arjun. It's very important. I'm not being arrogant when I do it just within myself. But that moment of Josh, the fist pump coming out is very important because we did something good. We didn't give up. Like, I did not give up on 1996. Was I lucky? Absolutely. But luck favors those who don't give up. Unquit is about not giving up. Take that step. Wait. Sometimes I ask myself, how long? My grandma told me the story of King Bruce saw a spider go across like 3 times or 5 times. Then I read about KFC, Colonel Sanders. At 62 years old, he starts.
He was about to take his life.
Yeah.
He was
done. Like, at 62 years old, he retires with $150 check. Life is over. He takes his recipe and goes to 1001 stores who said, no, the vacuum cleaner that we use, Dyson, that man failed 5,000 times. Thomas Edison, light bulbs, those are here 10,000 times. Like, there's no number. The whole goal is keep doing it. At some point, trust me, there's a guarantee. It could take you 22,814 times. But you have to enjoy the journey. And that's the reason the question you asked earlier is knowing this is an unlimited number of tries. Just have fun.
There's a very famous saying. In my 20s, I thought it was about the destination. In my 30s, I realized it's about the journey. In my 40s, I came to know it's about the company that was there with you. It does matter who is there on that path with you and if you are truly having fun, because you don't know how long that path is. Right? What is the biggest myth you think that people have when it comes to staying strong and staying resilient? Maybe it might not be medical challenges, but I believe in our generation there are people who are facing numerous challenges, be it economical, familial, financial, and every day comes with its own recipe. If you have any learning on how anyone or people in our generation can sort of navigate their lives so that they don't get bogged down. There are many myths that surround these sort of narratives.
So I'll put a few things out there from my perspective. And even though they may not be the right answer, hopefully they'll connect to other thoughts in your mind. The first is truth. And a few truths are what has happened. And the second part of truth is to be very clear, not to say, go through today, tomorrow will be better. No, let's face it, tomorrow could be worse. And for me, subsequent surgeries, subsequent challenges get more difficult. So I'm not saying, Arjun, don't quit, unquit, only if the water level is still here. I'm saying, Arjun, unquit, whatever the water level is, because you are capable. That truth is very important, because otherwise, you go through today and tomorrow you look at it and see the water level has risen, I can do it. So it is, tomorrow could be worse. The second part, as you start going through, is to start pushing yourself by saying, I have all the time. There's no rush. There's no perfection. I can ask for help. And in that particular journey, we have all been wired with a few stereotypes. Asking for help is weakness. Not true. Asking for help with strength is true strength. Second, I grew up in a world where intelligence, IQ was celebrated more than anything else. Smart boy. Not too smart boy. Okay. I realized smartness, IQ is important, which tells you what the paths are. Then you need EQ, emotional. Without positivity, nothing happens in life. And that's another thing I've learned on positivity is I don't have to have all the positivity, 100%. Like when I fill petrol in my car, only when I fill it, it's full. Rest of the time, it could be half full, 1/3 full, little full. As long as I know where to fill, that's it. So positivity for me, recharge. I'm low, call my daughter, call my wife, play with my dog, call so many people. I recharge. So to me, it's the IQ and the EQ together. But then I realized life is about moving forward. And that's the part where the two things come in is resilience and persistence. Resilience, the best way to describe is, remember, we all, when we were kids, I don't know, you are much a baby compared to me, but we used to have that balloon kind of a ball which you punch, it
It
comes
comes
back.
back up. Yeah.
So people think that's resilience. That is. But if you do that, that balloon gets punched over and over again. On top, you need persistence. Persistence means once I get up, I will make an effort to move forward. And that's what my unquit quotient is. Like, unquit quotient to me is at the end, you must have that thing unstoppable, yes, unstoppable, Arjun. Because think right now, yes, you are facing this adversity. If you say, adversity, pause for a second. Do you see behind me, boom, 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 you show your mom, dad, blah, 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 grandma, everybody. Adversity will start freaking out, say, hey, okay, 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 that's enough. Like to me, I think that's the part where understanding you're not alone, accept the truth, and then add to IQ, EQ, persistent and resilience, both, is very important.
On a lighter note, I would love to discuss a little bit about the film and a little bit about your time in Kaun Banega Crorepati.
Absolutely.
So, what was your first reaction when Shoojit sir called you and told you, I want to make a movie on you and your life? And how did something like that even come into your life where such a reputed director comes and says that this story is worth the cinema theaters?
So let me answer the second question first, because that way I can build it. I'd still seen Shoojit's movies, Pink, Piku, and I was
Fabulous.
totally Vicky Donor. I loved Vicky Donor and Sadar Udham. I had never talked about my cancer in groups. It was very tiny circle. So Shoojit and myself, our path crossed. He was in a podcast with me. At the end, he stayed back. We talked on Zoom without realizing. We talked for 3-4 hours that day. And he said that there are two doors in your life where if I try to go, it doesn't go anywhere. One of them is cancer and one of them is your divorce. And I just talked about how both have hurt Raka and freaked me out. And then, he uses the word Adda. Let's have Adda again. And then we talked, COVID comes in. And before we realized, over maybe a year, we had 200 hours of Zoom recording. Okay?
200 hours?
Yeah, we talked. We just talked. And the conversation was, he could go into depth of my life. I have never been there. But he was never judgmental, never curious. He just, I don't know at what point he evolved from the director to a friend to literally my baby brother. And to the point where when subsequent surgeries would come, he would just keep saying, no, 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 I have this instinct that everything will be fine. And I didn't want to burst his bubble that, I know you are just saying it because you love me. Okay. And in that background, there was no discussion of a movie ever. He called and I was driving. I remember we were moving from Denver to Houston. I know the exact date. My wife is there next to me, Chitra. Shoojit called and just out of the blue, Shoojit says, Arjun, I'm thinking that I want to consider making a movie. And with his high level of ethics, he said, I need to talk to you. I need to buy rights, this, that, everything. And I thought he was joking. I thought it's a prank. But when it finally we got to a place to realize, I asked him why. And he explained that some stories are meant to be movies, like Virat Kohli. Amazing journey. So many times we gave up, but he didn't. I want to know the story. But then there are stories of everyday average human beings. Because he wanted to take an everyday average being's story to connect to the world. And he talked about there was little humor, the people in your life. And that's the part that hit me hard was the people in my life. And then the movie evolved, everything else. Of course, I had to take permission from my daughter. And of course, her first reaction was, who will play me? Will Alia Bhatt play me? Of course, it was very cute. But then she was so mature immediately by saying she wanted a little distance from the movie. The name has to be there. And she pushed me hard by saying, Baba, share everything. You have lived a tough life. And somebody somewhere could benefit from this, learn from that. And even the mental health, I talked to about that much later, challenges, because she pushed hard. And I'm so glad she pushed hard, so Shoojit got the full picture.
And why did he name it I Want to Talk rather than having a...
I don't know. I just know that's maybe a question for him. But, what the thing that hit him was, some random facts. One, not too far from here, again, coming back to Kolkata, I went to a Montessori called Gokul Montessori. My first report card ever said, Chatterbox talks too much. I really want to go and find my amazing teacher by saying, it's not a bad thing, yaar. There are people who can make money talking. Okay, branding is all about talking. And then, before every surgery, that was my biggest worry. Like, my biggest worry was, can I talk? Because I always felt death is everybody is talking, I can hear. I'm talking, people can. And I think all those things together, and maybe because I talk such a lot with Shoojit, and even today I'm going overboard, is that's what it is. But I really feel that, that's the word. But I've also realized, we talked earlier, is talking, words come with responsibility. I want to talk doesn't mean I can say anything I want. In today's world, it's so important to take responsibility of words.
Abhishek Bachchan has played your character in the movie. So what was it like working with Mr. Bachchan? And was he able to capture the essence of your soul, of your spirit accurately? And how was he able to dive into your character the way it is portrayed in I Want to Talk?
So the whole credit goes to Shoojit, because the conversations was all Shoojit and Abhishek. Shoojit wanted to make the movie. Shoojit knew who all he wanted. Shoojit locked into Abhishek, talked. And in fact, when I met Abhishek in person, a week or two of the filming had already happened. But what I learned was, Abhishek had highest level of appreciation for my life. And when I met him, he had highest level of appreciation for me, the human being there. Like, I'll give you a very simple example. One day, let's say this is a duplex 2-story. Here's a big couch and filming is happening upstairs. And second scene is supposed to be filmed here. I take naps in the afternoon. If you guys leave me here for 5 minutes, I'll fall asleep. I dozed off. Abhishek and team made sure the filming order was scheduled, rescheduled and more changed, so Arjun can take his nap. And even at the end of the day, him just looking at me, even through among everybody, you could see he's looking at me to make sure I'm okay. Even on KBC day, like, those were the smallest of gestures that is there. Like, recently, just to celebrate, he got the best actor for the second time for the movie in Melbourne. It's a very prestigious film festival, and Abhishek has never won best actor before. This is second, and he was very emotional. And what I learned was, that's the true Unquit journey. Big accomplishment for an actor who waited all these years. But even when he won, there was no me. He thanks Shoojit, he thanks me, he thanks his parents. Like, that to me is the whole humility, how he was raised is absolutely amazing. So I personally feel very enriched to get to know him.
And the world saw you on KBC as well. You were playing for 2 charities.
Yeah.
Which were they exactly?
So, me not knowing that much about India, I asked around, and one was about army wives, and the second one was about stray dogs somewhere in Missouri. But KBC was all about something that I would not even put on my bucket list. Growing up in Kolkata, Novena movie theaters right here, I used to go and watch every Big B movie, first day, first show. Like, I saw Mukaddar ka Sikandar 3 times, hoping second time or third time he doesn't die. Okay, that's how smart I was. Okay, from there to be on KBC, not just be there, be a participant, and Big B talking to me, I melted. Okay?
Unbelievable.
But I left with something even bigger. I realized the reason he is Big B is because every day he puts the effort. He films 2 episodes a day from 6, 7 in the morning till midnight.
Every day.
Every day. Like, if there's 100 episodes a year, he'll do it over 50 days. But
that's energy.
And that is pre-prep. During the episode, he's present. Like, when you watch any of the KBC episodes, you'll see that during the episode, some question is there, somebody in the audience wins. It's usually a 2-second, 5-second thing. But in real life, Big B is in no rush. So imagine your mom and you are there. Your mom won. She will go and say namaste and be with your mom and get into her life. And then he would ask, who else has come with you? So mom says, my son, yes, ji, namaskar. Yes, ji, what do you do? He will leave making both of you melt. And it's not fake. He does it 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
With each person who wins. Twice a day, every day.
Every day. End of night, 11:30.
And he's, what, over 80 years old?
Over 80. 11:30 at night. He's telling me, when at the end of the show you do pictures with him, he looks at me and he said, Arjun, where's your books? I'm like, what do you mean books? We need to take pictures with the books. What are you, an author? Like, I want to take pictures with the book, and I am so much in awe, I am not even thinking. I'm done. He gets somebody to bring the books. Then he scolds me. You never write 2 books at the same time. Let's do 1 book at a time so you can promote them separately. Okay. 11:30 at night. He wanted Abhishek and team to make sure I'm in the car with food, mango lassi, everything. He's not doing it only for me. I'm very fortunate, grateful. But that is what it takes to be Big B. And that was the biggest thing I learned from KBC was the thing that fast forward is very important.
How did it feel when he called you a Yodha?
Beyond tears, like at that point, I was hypnotized. I was in a bad physical day. Like if you watch it, I was in a lot of pain. And sometimes the end of the day, I start cramping and I can start fading. So I was telling myself, don't fade today, don't fade today. Like by the time I got to the car, I was gone. So I was physically not in the best, but I was on cloud nine. Nothing was registering. It was like, you called me a Yodha, good for me. Like I will process all this later. Like right now, just be there. And like I could not pinch myself, but that's Big B. That's my Big B right in front talking to me. That's it. Surreal, surreal, beyond surreal.
What is the Unquit journey? What is the purpose behind it? How did you come up with it?
So this whole Unquit journey became a very simple three-step process. One is this new word, Unquit, that needs no definition, description, anything like that. Second, one person at a time, I want to bring the word Unquit to your life, your vocabulary, and feel good when you call and says, Arjun, I unquit. I'm an unquitter. And here's my story. That's huge. Simple few line stories is when the movie launched, I met online this 76-year woman from Kolkata who had given up on life, who was telling God, my time's over. Take me. After the movie, she tells God no. She felt 10 years younger and she has a walking club in her building with 10, 15 women. She wants to one day run a 5K race. And that's the third goal, is once you feel you're an unquitter and you share back, that's where I become rich. This is not a money-making brand. This is a path where I want to live every day with life, with full of fun, happiness. But hearing people talk back about Unquit gives me goosebumps.
The inspiration.
Yeah, totally.
And you have come to India to promote that ideology, the movement.
There's the
Promote.
book.
I don't like the word promote. To be
It's not promote because promote is transactional.
yeah.
I really feel in three cities. Last time I spoke a little in Kolkata, so this time, Kolkata, I'm just chilling with mom and meeting a few cool people like you. But in Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai, free event, invite only events we are doing to share the whole journey of Unquit. And just it's a pass forward to trigger thoughts as you start going through. It's like, I think it's more about building a momentum. To me, I think, and then I also want to take some of the content and put it on social to spread because I cannot talk to every person in person. So I really think, so it's all about momentum, take it forward, and let's see where we can go and take it together.
In your eyes, who is a true unquitter?
Every one of us. Think, there are four of us in this room. Every one of us faced a day. Some you guys are much younger than me, but in your young life, you faced a day the world is coming to an end. Like it could be an exam you didn't get the right grade. It could be a friend who stopped talking to you. It could be a girlfriend who said, I don't want to be a friend anymore. You thought that night the world is over. But you didn't give up that day. Most importantly, your friends did not give up on you. They said, hey, what's going on? Come on. Like I really think that's the part where each one of us face that moment. And I think that's the power of it, is the very fact four of us are here in this room. And I'm really grateful to all of you. Is because you didn't quit yesterday, day before. It takes time. Like this morning, if you have an iPhone, I think it's the same on Android. When we wake up, the first thing the phone does on an alarm is gives me a screen which says in the middle, big snooze.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, stop. Like think, how non-inspiring is it that I wake up with my day with two options, snooze or stop? I didn't quit. I overcame that to get excited that I'm talking to you all. So
Yeah.
everyone is an unquit.
That's true. Maybe we should ask them to change those options.
Absolutely.
Let's say if I'm going through a very bad day, what are the three things I can do to reverse engineer my mind and become an unquitter?
One, appreciate. Appreciate the people. Like just pause and appreciate every person in your life, because appreciate makes you stronger. Appreciate makes you realize me, Yash, is not mess worthy. Don't mess with me. I have all these people, and it just makes you feel I've arrived. Second, prepare. And as you prepare, break it into something you can do. Not the 65,005, one step, baby steps. One step made me a marathon. And third is celebrate. Celebrate is personal. We have these rules in this planet. The celebration can only happen at 6 p.m. about this. Like think, if I was trying to lose weight and you are my doctor, I come to you and I need to lose 8 pounds. I come there, you put me on the scale. Arjun 7.2, no sticker for you. Come on, man. I want to celebrate every moment. I want to celebrate the fact I got a chance to meet three of you. Want to celebrate that you introduce yourself by saying, I'm Sen Gupta. Love that. Okay. I got a chance to meet your mom. Okay. I got to celebrate the fact that after this interview, my mom will pick me up and we will go have chai somewhere at a street corner. Okay. Like, I want to celebrate because that's the part where take the attention away from adversity. Like, make that adversity sit outside. Start with appreciate, build your team, then prepare, and then celebrate. Drown adversity with a fist pump.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that up in my office.
Absolutely. All yours.
If you could have a 2-minute conversation with 32-year-old Arjun Sen just before his first surgery, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, smile, because one day I can guarantee you there'll be a movie in your life with Abhishek Bachchan and you will get a chance to meet Amitabh Bachchan. Like, if I knew even a little bit of that, I wouldn't have freaked out. But more importantly, on a serious note, I wouldn't ask him to change anything. Because I have with this very simple rule, I only go back to the past for two reasons. One, to get learning, and two, celebrations. I never go into past to critique me, do this, because could I have done differently? Yes. But did I intentionally screw up? No, I never gave up on a game. Like, I am here today. Whatever I did, I got here. Okay. So to me, I really feel that with 32-year-old, I just give you a pat by saying, buddy, whatever you did, it worked. I'm here talking to Yash because you didn't give up.
How has the definition of success evolved for you over time? What does it mean? What does the word success mean today as compared to a few decades ago?
I think initially success started in the head with ego, then it moved to the wallet, and now it has moved to the heart. Because now to me, success is about meeting people. Like today, it's a work day. I'm not making any money by talking to you, but I'm leaving richer talking to you. And that's success. To me, I really think understanding what makes us richer, and it's not the ego, not the wallet, but it's here. I think that has what evolved.
So the reason I want to ask you this question is because this scene quite moved me when I was watching the movie. You're running the marathon, and midway you stop, a police car comes and is asking, what is it that you're doing? And you say, I'm running the marathon. And she says the marathon has been over for hours and everyone has reached the finish line and they've also gone home. And then your daughter comes and you sit by the side and you tell her that, she asks you, why is it that you're putting yourself through this? You've gone through so many surgeries. This is not healthy. You can collapse at any moment. And you say, I'm doing it for Nancy. Why is it that she had such a profound impact and that you gave such a difficult commitment in her honor?
He changed me. Before, if I walked in and you are Dr. Yash, you would look at my papers and I could see in your eyes, no hope, Arjun. Dead man walking, Arjun. That changed. One evening, Nancy asked me, Arjun, once we give you your life back, what will you do? In the movie, for creative reasons, they didn't want to disclose the marathon. So they talked about, in the movie, Arjun says, I want to talk. But in real life, I was not that smart. In real life, I stumbled and Nancy pushed me. And finally, I said, okay, I'll write a book. Nancy's like, good. What else? I said, I will work with some philanthropy. Good. What else? I'll run a race. She said, how long? I said, 5 kilometers. She started laughing. Your life is worth 5 kilometers. Like, okay, half a marathon. What changed that day was, next day when Nancy would bring me over to Dr. Yash, Nancy would say, Arjun Sen, future cancer winner, future author, future philanthropist, and future half marathon. It changed the energy in the room. To the point where doctors would drop the folder, look at me by saying, wow, what kind of a book? And I would even put some glorified BS by saying, at the right point, the book will come to me. And hearing the word marathoner, half marathoner was so important. When the race was there, to me, I needed to prove Nancy right. And that was very important because my life changed because of her. I found purpose because of her. And my daughter Raka was there. So the two women, I want to dance at my daughter's wedding, and the person who declared to the world, I could make Nancy wrong. I had to put my best effort.
Amazing. How ironic is it? And the irony in the movie just took me away, where somebody can give so much energy and still be fighting demons within themselves.
Yeah, and that's the big aha for me was after Nancy passed away, I started understanding more about that profession. In that medical profession, not a single person ever comes and says, Dr. Arjun, I'm having a great day. Either they come with a false heart attack or an actual heart attack. Like everyone, you have to take it seriously. Like, in that profession, like in marketing, I make a mistake, nobody dies.
Apart from the product.
The product comes back to. But in that profession, knowing my mistake, and that is something that hit me hard. I make it a point now to pause for my doctors, to make sure I try to tell jokes, to thank them, do whatever I can, because Nancy called me 8 times the night I wanted to finish my life. 8 times. How many times would she have called if she didn't get? So I think another 8 more times, 10 more times. She would have called. Nancy passed away. I had called her the same day. But because of stupid protocol, I called her just once, thinking as a nurse, she's my nurse, I cannot. I could have called her 8 times. I could have called her 10 times. And that's the part where, that's the irony of life, is that we are caught in this world of rules, this, that, everything. No, leave. No, you talked about it earlier. We went there. Lead with the heart. Ask, can I give you a hug? Let me give you a hug. Like, I think that's the big thing I've learned is with Nancy, I missed an opportunity. I could have done more. So in this book, I really poured my heart into it. And the secret about the book is it was written over 25 days where I was going for treatment every day. And my amazing daughter, my wife, and my business partner taught me that every day, if I go a few hours early and stayed a few hours extra, I can write 5,000 words a day. And that's the way this book was. So it's an unhinged tribute to all the amazing people. And when you read the book, of course, you love the story of my daughter. But the person you will fall in love, right? If you care about somebody, thank that person. I feel Nancy came to this planet only to rescue Arjun. After you read the book, find me, send me a kind word, or anything you feel, it'll be my Unquit forever.
Thank you so much.
No, it's my pleasure. My pleasure, and truly an honor. Thank you.
That's it for today's episode of Host Diaries. If you felt transported, even for a moment, we'd love for you to stay a little longer. Hit that like button if this story spoke to you, subscribe to join us on more journeys across India, and tap the bell icon so that you're the first person to know when a new episode drops.